I have a few different things that I'm going to be doing with this entire batch of soap for this video, and it's going to take me quite a few days to get through everything, maybe even the next 2 weeks. So there's a couple things that I'm doing. Number one is with the actual recipe. This is not my normal recipe. It is kind of similar, but what it's what I like to call everything but the kitchen sink. So the amazing thing about cold process soap is you can take a huge variety of oils and you can make you have different basic guidelines, like how much butters, how much of soft oils, hard oils, that kind of thing. But you can make really great soap using a wide variety of oils and butters and different fats. So this one is a batch of oils and butters that I am making because there's things that I need to use up because they're getting close to expiration date, that type of thing. So this one does have a lot more shea butter in it than I normally do. I had some sweet almond oil that I need to use up, and because I was able to get some at a discount, so I'm using that instead of my olive oil in the recipe. Another thing, I don't know if you know, knew that you can do this, is you can actually make soap with shortening. And the great thing about soap calculators, and I'll show this real quick, this is Soap Calc, is they actually have those calculators in there. So they have one for Crisco, they have one for great value shortening, they have the all vegetable shortening option, they have the one that's part animal fats and part vegetable oils. So like for the holidays, I had purchased shortening to make some holiday cookies. I don't need all that shortening. So I'm like, okay, well, I can use that because it's got some soft oils in it. It's also got the animal fats, which I do use animal fats in there. So this is a great way to use up those. And the other part of it is I'm going to be testing fragrances. I'm doing 55. Oh my gosh. Yes, I know, 55 different fragrances. With this, the reason why there's so many, some of them I have done before, but I'm not quite sure. It's been a while. So I'm like, okay, what did I like about this? What did I not like about it? Did it discolor? Did it accelerate? How does it work for me? And I've done 2 sets of them. I'm doing 10 bars at a time because this does actually move a little bit faster than my normal recipe. And I think it's that extra shea butter because my normal recipe usually has about 5% and I'm at 15% here. The other ones are about the same. So I think it's moving a little bit faster on me with that. But you know, it does give me an idea of some of them because I've got some in the oven right now that are cold process oven processing, and some of them are still pretty soft. So that would be a really great fragrance to use in something that's a little bit more of a difficult design or a swirl, that type of thing. So real quick, Soap Calc, SOAPCALC.com is a really amazing website that you can put in your oils. So sometimes it's like, okay, I want to stick with this percentage. If you have a lot of oil, whatever, fats, whatever, it's like, okay, I want 5% of this, 30% of this, whatever. And then you pick your super fat and then you plug it in, you can put percentage in. What's great too, is you can switch it over to the weight. So with this recipe, it's like, okay, I know I have this much sweet almond oil. I know I have this much shea butter that I want to use. I know I have this much, like the shortening I said. So right here, it says Walmart Great Value Shortening. And I plugged it in exactly how much I had. And then I kind of played around to get to close to the percentages of my normal recipe. And then it spit it out with how much lye I need, how much water I need. I did do some little calculations down here because I have started using citric acid in there because citric acid acts as kind of an extender for oils. It also acts as a chelator, so it helps prevent soap scum if you have hard water. So those are anyway, if you haven't used Soap Calc, it takes just a minute. It's really not hard to use, but it's really helpful. And it also gives you ideas of a range of hardness, cleansing, conditioning, that kind of thing, of where your recipe stands and kind of the range you want to be in. All my numbers are within that range. Okay. And then over here, I have all of my fragrances written down and I'll be taking notes. I've gotten 22 of them done so far. I'm doing it 11 at a time. And I'll continue to go through and write down what they are. Okay, with this particular batch, I decided to go ahead and use fragrances that should be all well behaved because I'm going to be doing this with kind of a challenge, one of the challenge club. The one that we're doing right now is a dipping technique, and the category, I'm in the top tier, and I have to use 3 different colors in my bars. So I'm doing 3 different bars of 3 different colors, and I'm just going to use a little bit of gold and a little bit of pewter. There is a teeny tiny bit of white mica in here already because that was some of the sweet almond oil I need to use up. So anyway, that was a lot going on there. I'm going to go ahead and make this, and put it in the oven to cold process, oven process, and then I'll do a shot when I'm done of the fragrances that I'm testing, and then kind of what it looks like when I have stuff in the oven. The brands that I'm testing, mostly Brambleberry, they're my favorites. I've got Nurture Soap Supply, I've got Wholesale Supplies Plus, and then I also have Stock Fragrance, and they're all really, really, oh, and Essential Depot. I think that's all of them. Yeah. So those are all really, really good fragrance companies. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna get gloved up and we'll get started. A few things. If you noticed in the video, I was tapping and moving the mold just to kind of see how fluid they are. And while I was doing it, because it does take extra time to measure out and pour each one of these, and the batter does kind of start to set up. So what I do is I like to kind of move the mold around to see if some of them are more fluid than others. So on this one, this is the one I just did. The tops are a little bit rough, but if I tilt it, I don't know if you, let's see if I can get one. Okay. So see this one? This one's kind of starting to move over a little bit. This one is still pretty fluid, where this one isn't moving at all, and this one isn't moving, but this one is sliding over. So this would be a really good, oh, see, that one's moving now. So this one's really fluid, that one's really fluid. This one didn't move at all. And that means those would probably be either decelerating ones or ones that were really, really good for some more intricate designs. Now this one, this is the one I did yesterday. You can see some of the ones are starting to discolor. It will take more time. This has been in the oven is from when I made them, and with discoloration it does take time, and it also takes exposure to air. So these will change color as they're exposed to air. So these, you can see like this one was really, it almost looks like it seized. So this one is really kind of lumpy. These obviously are going to be discoloring. This one, the first one I did have some more of the misbehaving fragrances. This one did not, but this one definitely did. You can kind of see the different colors, how they're starting to kind of change. Like this one is going to be kind of a tan. These two will definitely be a brown. One of them, let me look at my numbers real quick. So one of them was super yellow, number 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. So when I poured this, this was like neon yellow when I put the fragrance in. But don't freak out, because I have an apple soap that I did once and it wasn't supposed to discolor. But when I put the colors in, it went really yellow. I'm like, oh no, but it turned back. So don't freak out, because sometimes they discolor when they go in there, and then as they start to saponify, they change. Like this one, I don't know if you can see, these two riced a little bit, and you can see a little flecks in there of lighter spots. That's where the fragrance did not fully incorporate, and it just riced just a tiny bit. This one is kind of interesting. It's almost like I didn't stir it well enough. I wonder what that one was. Let me look real quick. It's really nice to have your notes. So this one actually is going to discolor. So it may kind of like those, it's starting to discolor, but it almost looks like maybe I went too fast, because I think this one was one that it said it did have acceleration. So I may not have stirred that one as well. This one you can see it's starting to turn yellow, but it's really interesting to see how these change colors. You can see my little chicken scratches on there for the numbers, because otherwise you wouldn't know what they are. The great thing about this is once they're done, you pull them out. Obviously they need to cure. I always cure my soaps 6 weeks, and you'll be able to smell them, see how they change, because a lot of fragrances, this is a chemical process. The fragrance does change on them. Some of them smell very similar. Some of them have a drastic change. So don't take the fragrance that you smell out of the bottle as what is actually going to be in the finished project. This is why it is so important to test these fragrances. I'm going to come back in just a second because I'm going to show you the fragrances. So these are all the fragrances that I have been testing. And like I said, it's very important not only for your recipe to test them, but also to see what it smells like, because out of the bottle can be very different than what it smells like when you just open it. Actually, the number one reason why I did this in the first place is I was really trying to find a nice tropical pineapple, mango, papaya type coconut scent. And you would not believe how many mango ones there are. So each of these, actually I have them backwards. So I did them in sets of 11 because that's what I end up doing for each of the batches. It was easier for the way this went. The beginning of each one of these is a tropical scent. So I have pineapple honey, papaya mango, pineapple mango, mango madness, fresh mango, pineapple cilantro, mango papaya, pineapple papaya. Oh, and there's a coconut. And then I have another coconut in there. It's just, there's so many fragrances, like brambleberry, for example. They have multiple cucumber melon ones. And it's like, there's so many to choose from, and they all smell a teeny tiny bit different. So that was another reason why I was wanting to do this, was to kind of see which one is my favorite, which one behaves the best, because really when you have one that behaves really well, you do have more design opportunities that way. So anyway, I will come back for the next part of the design challenge part, and that is that dipping technique. So those 3 bars that I added some color to, I have to have 3 different colors in the bar, and then I have to use those colors when I do the dipping. So when I do another set of these, I will use some of that soap as the top part. And as far as what's going to happen with all of these soaps, I will either keep them for personal use, so there's ones that I love, or I'll felt them, because I'm using a round bar. That's going to be a great shape to do some needle felting with, or they will be donated to a local shelter. There's a safe house that we donate soaps to, which actually we're going to be doing that this week. My daughter has a project for National Honor Society. We made soap and we're going to donate that. So anyway, going to come back and do that next part.